You know, if there's one thing that Prince Harry, in my opinion, is really good at, is literally doing the very best of himself, and then within 24 hours, 36 hours, ruining it all by doing something like this. And what's interesting when you think it's not the first time, and clearly he has no control now over his own life. Some people might say that this latest escapade, and I can tell you this from great authority, was quite simply no Duke, no dinner, as ever. Let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today, and as ever, welcome one and all brand new subscribers. It's a funny thing, isn't it? You know, Prince Harry, as we saw, when he came back over here to London, sorry, I love a lovely way, when he came back over here to London recently, and then of course, do you remember when he lost his security case? He shot on camera and basically, you know, had a go at his father, saying, well, they could have stepped in and everything. And he seemingly does this really good thing where he lets people remind them of, you know, the capabilities of what he was good at and what he was very much officially trained to do as a senior member at the time of the British monarchy. But now, of course, he's sort of embroiled in this terrible celebrity world that I know for 100% fact that Prince Harry really has no time for. The thing that Harry, William and other senior royals like about celebrity, I can tell you this from experts, as it were, from people very close to them, is the power that they bring to a project. And by the power, you know, it's sort of something like it can help with the fundraising, help sort of shine a light on the charity. A little bit like recently, the brilliant pop songstress, Australian icon Kylie Minogue, performing at the Earthshot in Brazil for Prince William, enabled the world to look at her. She has a lot of fans, and so by default, they learn about the charity. I mean, they're good friends, don't get me wrong. You know, she's performed for royalty for many years. I was there at the very first time. But this is the idea of why celebrity and royalty mix very well together. But when you're in this particular position that Prince Harry now is, you are in I'm going to put it nicely, it's not exactly the A-list event that you might think. Here we have, of course, Prince Harry and the cable TV actress wife of his, Meghan Markle, attending the 70th birthday party of Kris Jenner, famously dubbed, of course, the momager of the Kardashians. Now, people forget, but exactly how they got going is rather dubious in itself, and, you know, some might say very cringeworthy for a mother to do. I'm not going to spell it out here on this channel, but it is rather grim, to say the least, right? And one might also think that, would you really want to be associated with people like this? But of course, for Meghan Markle, people like this are the holy grail. It's what they live for. And, you know, let me give you a bit of background. Basically, Meghan Markle has tried her very best to ingratiate herself inside the Kardashian clan. She really likes exactly the way that Kris has done everything to manipulate her daughters, who seemingly don't have any sort of, you know, huge talent. You know, they're very pretty and they turn up on reality shows, but I'm not quite sure exactly what their talent is to garner the billions, millions that they've made. They're good at endorsements and things like that. Met them, very pleasant, very nice. If you cast your mind back, of course, Kim Kardashian positioned herself during the time of the coronation over here in London for King Charles III, and basically was trying to angle a invite. You know, the idea was that she'd pop up and get an invite. The other idea that she really wanted to do was to introduce an act on stage for the coronation concert at Windsor Castle. It didn't work on either end. But the Kardashians are fascinated by British royalty. That's the only reason they've really bothered with Meghan and Harry, his royal connections. It's as simple as that. Here's where this gets interesting though, because as I say, she's celebrating her 70th birthday. Well, bits of Kris Jenner are 70. Obviously, she's now famously let the world see her latest facelift, which I think is a remarkable thing. But, you know, with all of these things, right, I don't know if you agree, ladies, they all look good in pictures with filters and lighting and everything. The reality is, what does it look like when you're sitting opposite them having a cup of tea? You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Now, here's where, as I say, this is really interesting, because Meghan has sent her mother out to meet the Kardashians to try and win them over. She's infiltrated all the people around the Kardashians to try and make sure that she could get connected that way. But it didn't really work, you know, nothing was really interesting. As I say, the Kardashians love the royals. But finally, without any real royals, well, the bottom line was that they had to make do with this. Now, here's where the huge fight took place. And this is from an excellent source, a staff member. You see, Harry knows what the optics look like on this, right? And the problem was this, two things, and again I have to say allegedly, but two things that happen. You will see that Harry is looking rather dapper in his dinner suit, and he's very much displaying the poppy, the emblem of course of Remembrance Sunday, and in remembrance of everybody who served in the wars. Meghan didn't want to do that, according to a source, because she, well, I mean, I'll leave it there. That says everything you need to know about somebody's humanitarian and compassion. She knows all eyes are upon her, and by simply putting on a poppy, even a small one, a metallic one, whatever, everybody would have commented on the fact that they at least showed some respect. With regards to Prince Harry, he showed a lot of respect by doing that, and that was a big fight behind the scenes. The second problem of this particular, situation was the fact that Harry knew that this wasn't a good time to go to that particular event. He said, people wouldn't look favourably upon them because obviously he just spent time out in Canada, and the bottom line really was that he knew exactly the optics again, how this would look, in the press. There, of course, is His Majesty the King, his elder brother Prince William, Catherine the Princess of Wales, all senior royals out in force doing their royal duty, remembrance, right? This is what this weekend is about. And consequently, there you've got a former member of the British monarchy, and his only symbol to this is to wear a poppy. His wife refused. You're right, she could have done, but she wouldn't. Apparently it spoiled the line of the dress. Now, again, the reason why Meghan wanted to turn up at this party, we all know this, is simply networking. The people that she truly did want to get to network with were there, the Bezoses, Lauren Sanchez and Bezos and Jeff Bezos, billionaires, money people that might want to invest in Meghan's fledgling business. That's truly why they want to get there. Interesting to note as well, though, that her one-time pal, Tyler Perry, was also there. But so far, there have been no pictures of the press, leaked to the press, of Tyler and Meghan together. She's still very much tiptoeing around that particular situation and the ongoing legal battle that he has. Now, what's interesting also, and according to an excellent source, that Meghan and Harry were not first choice guests at this particular event. The idea originally, and think about this because it makes perfect sense, would have been to invite a sort of real member of the monarchy. And there was an invite issued out to Sarah, Duchess of York, alongside her daughters Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. And the idea for this naturally was, I don't know what connection they had, whether they'd worked together, met each other out in the US. I'm sure Fergie's connected at some point with these particular individuals. It's on my understanding that the invite wasn't rescinded, however, just good wishes and a card, and you'll understand why I can't attend. That was the reason why Fergie is not there, right? Rightly so. Clearly somebody's rung that bell inside the head, right? As for Harry and Meghan, as I say, the bottom line truly was Meghan insisted that they go. This created an almighty fight because Harry knows this is just not going to sit very well. Now, Harry gets bored of these situations very quickly because it's about networking, and we saw Harry's haphazard idea of networking at the Disney premiere. Do you remember? My wife does voiceovers. You might want to book her. She's here now. Would you like a chat? He's just not very good because these things are done for you. Now, apparently when they arrived at the event, and this is the other thing that you're just ludicrous when you think, the other idea really was this, that apparently Meghan said, her team, should I say, said that they needed to be introduced as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And there was no need for formalities like ma'am or bowing or curtsying, but that just particular introduction, because everybody's introduced as they went into this huge marquee hall thing, right? So you can see exactly how they're cosplaying the royals for everything that it's worth. But in fairness to Harry, I have to say that I'm sure he would have loved to have said no, but he's simply too weak. Meghan calls the shots, she says exactly what's going to happen, and he has to conform. And the bottom line for him, whether he liked it or not, this is now going to be his life. He knew that this would play out badly. It has, naturally, and consequently, on top of all of that, there's simply nothing he could do. And now he's literally, the bag carrier for a former cable TV actress wife who's making a cameo in a movie that clearly nobody will remember. Meghan, though, apparently was ecstatic and managed to get all the pictures that she thinks she needs for future Instagram posts. It's a developing story. When I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.